they say, 'cause nobody wants your broken parts. Learn to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, 'cause no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. We are bursting through the barricades, reaching for the sun. We are warriors. Yeah, that's what we become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we're glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I am scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. I know that I deserve your love. There is nothing I'm not worthy of. When the sharpest word's gonna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. Here I come. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. Gonna send a flood, gonna cry. This is me.
Our theme for the month is Zoom to Prosperity, and we're having our Adventures in Spirit Prosperity and Pledge program. And what an interesting thing to do, to dive right in 6 months into COVID and all of the changes and all the situations that so many of us find ourselves in right now at this particular point in time. Some people are having amazing experiences. They're getting more and more prosperous. Other people are not having that experience at all. They're getting less and less prosperous, or losing businesses, losing jobs. And here we are. We're going to talk about zooming to prosperity.
Spirit and I are one. Spirit and I are one. Spirit and I
all being, that which is holy. In and of itself, it is all that there is. Spirit, the universal presence, that which is the all of all, no circumference, whose center is everywhere present. And in all of the universe, in all of the cosmos, this one life, this one love, this one power is exemplified as abundance. There is abundance everywhere present. From the trillions of stars in the galaxy to the trillions of galaxies in which there are trillions of stars. And knowing that this one life is abundant, I know that I am that I am. I am the stardust of life itself, showing up as me, for spirit and I are one. And so I speak this word for each and every one of us and declare that we came here at such a time as this to live an abundant life. That as life itself is abundant, that is our experience as well. To be that place where abundance shows up in every single area of our life, no exceptions. In our relationships, in our friendships, in our place of being of service called work, in our financial house, that storehouse is filled up and overflowing. There is so much to be with and to share. In the collectiveness in how we are an abundance of love and peace and presence, that connection, that place in which we are, abundance lives. How grateful I am to know that we each came here to live this abundant life, and by spirit, that is what we do, and this is what we are. And so I release these words into the universal law, knowing that the law must produce, reflect back that which has been spoken. I know this is so, abundantly so. We are blessed. I let it loose, and so it is.
Spirit and I are one. 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 Holy, 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 holy. Holy, 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 holy,
Welcome to the Adventures in Spirit AIS 2021 campaign. Our theme is Zoom to Prosperity, Be Your Superpower. We are your co-hosts. I am Leah Glazer.
And I'm Michael Brundy.
We are so glad to be here. On behalf of the staff, the ministers, and the AIS committee, we want to tell you how grateful we are for you. Your consciousness enriches and expands our CSLDallas community, and our abundance is
And as each of us pledges our financial support to this place where we are spiritually fed, we are establishing in our own consciousness that yes, we are prosperous and will meet that pledge.
Let me tell you the shape of our AIS program. Some of you may be new to CSL Dallas, and this may be your first AIS campaign. And then for some of you other folks, you may not be new, you may have been around, but you just may need maybe a reminder of what we do during these months of October for our AIS campaign. So here's what's happened. You're going to receive letters with pledge cards, and here's an example of a pledge card. And we're going to be asking for your commitment to financially support CSL Dallas. In addition, we'll be discussing prosperity and abundance in our classes, our workshops, and our Sunday messages, as well as if you go to CSLDallas.org, you'll be able to find this information. Everything that's in this brochure will be out there online. And Reverend Karen has made sure that I tell you that this is where you want to go to find everything you need to know about AIS. So anything that Leah and I may not include, or if you want to hear it again, it's going to be right here. So let me give you an overview of some of the priorities that we're going to be discussing. We're going to be talking about how we're going to think outside the box during this COVID time period. How can we add high touch with high technology to virtually touch all our members in our community? We're going to be doing more with our CSL Dallas Institute and developing new courses and marketing our strategy that we're going to use for growth. And of course, expanding our spiritual inspiration. These are just some of the priorities that we have for our CSL Dallas AIS campaign.
Now, the AIS campaign covers our operating expenses, and we only do this one time a year because we trust that your generosity and your pledges are going to help us pay for things like salaries and rent. And we know that all of these things are your pledges in action. You keep the lights on, the water running, and the music playing here, folks. So we do other fundraising during the year for things like sending our teens to camp and for community-based projects. But we trust and know that by making and fulfilling our pledges together, this is the only time that we have to come to you asking for money for our operating expenses. We count on your generosity.
You know, there's power in setting goals, and there's even more power in setting collective goals, goals as a group. Goals are targets, and if you don't have a target and you don't have a goal, you may not reach your dreams. So you can set it low and hit it, or you can set it high and hit it. I've watched our community set AIS goals year after year, and we've always seemed to reach them. I think this is because we believe what we teach, and because we say it over and over and over again. So I'm going to say what our goal is for this year. I'm going to let you know what our goal is and then ask you to repeat that goal 3 times. So our goal for 2010 is going to be, oops, I said 2010. I should have said 2021 is going to be for $947,000 or more and 250 pledges and more. That's what we think we're going to do this year. Now, let's say it together 3 times. $947,000 and more, and 250 pledges and more. All right, that's 1 time. Let's do it again. $947,000 and more,
from
250 pledges and more. Okay, now, even if you're at home watching this on camera or wherever you might be, on the 3rd time, say it with all the enthusiasm, all the gusto that you can. We're going to get how much? $947,000 and more. And 250 pledges and more. That's our goal. That's our AIS campaign. Come along with us. And now, a testimonial from me. So I get to do our testimonial for this week, and I want to share with you why I give and why I support CSL Dallas. A good friend of mine, who you guys probably know, Septima Thorns. Septima Thorns came to me one time after I had spoke here at CSL Dallas, and instead of putting her offering in the offering basket, that Sunday she gave that money to me. And as she gave it to me, she said, I believe in giving to my spiritual source. And for that day, I had been her spiritual source. It was the first time I had ever thought about that concept, about giving to the place where I was fed from. And then it started to make sense. You know, for my financial planner, I support them with fees. For my doctors and my medicals and my health, I support them by paying them. I support all those folks who support me and help me. Well, CSL Dallas is my spiritual community, and they support me in a spiritual way. So that is why I support CSL Dallas. That's why I give. It all started with one member here telling me and reminding me of the importance of giving back to that same source. And for me, it's worked. It's worked all the years that I've been here. And, well, we keep finances sometimes private, so I can't tell you how much money I got, but I got a lot of money and I'm doing just well because TSRW, this stuff really does work. And that's my testimonial. I'm sticking to it.
Perhaps you don't know, the Science of Mind was actually written right before the Great Depression. And when Ernest Holmes first started speaking in the Wilshire Theater in Los Angeles to thousands of people, it was between 1930 and 1935. These principles, spoken out in the other most great impact, economic impact that was happening in our country. And there's a wonderful story that says what he would drive up to the Wilshire Theater in a Rolls Royce, a chauffeur-driven Rolls Royce, as he began to attract thousands of people to come. And somebody came up to him and knocked on the window and said, "Hey, mister, what are you driving a Rolls Royce for? Don't you know there's a depression going on, people standing on the soup lines?" And Ernest Holmes's response was, "How could I not, if I'm willing to prove the principles that I teach in my own life so that you can prove them in yours?" That's kind of the situation we find ourselves in. When we are confronted with situations and circumstances, especially ones that appear to be financial, it is easy to fall into the worldly wisdom, the fear, or the figuring it out, or the I don't know how this is going to work out, or the I'm going to get mine no matter what's happening to anybody else. Worldly wisdom. But when we zoom to prosperity, we zoom to prosperity on our spiritual principles, our spiritual truth. And that's the ability to recognize and to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that we actually live in an abundant universe. And that abundance is there for each and every one of us, regardless of our situations and circumstances, regardless of the economic circumstance, regardless of what the stock market is doing, or the political situation is doing, or the businesses are doing, regardless of all of those things. To stand in the spiritual truth that the universe is an abundant place, that spirit is our sufficiency, that God is our source, that our desire of life itself is to move through us. Jesus said, "I've come that you might have life and have it more abundantly." What's the very first miracle he did? He turned water into wine at a party for people to enjoy. That's what we're up to. Turning the water of our life experience right now, good, bad, or indifferent, into wine, into better wine, into wine that we can enjoy and share. Zoom to prosperity. Be your superpower. What's your superpower? My superpower, the superpower of the science of mind, it's the power of transformation. It's the power to transform our identity and the place that we are looking for our good, to transform it from our paychecks and the economy and the things that are going on around us to the spiritual truth that we live in an abundant universe. How do we know this? Just look at nature. Just look at nature without humans interfering. Nature is forever abundant. It is forever more life growing and and exploding and evolving, more life, always in that exponential way of expressing itself. Nature is sustaining itself. No matter how many things die, other things grow. I love the example in the wildfires in Yellowstone. They had massive wildfires in Yellowstone, and what happened 2 years later? There were more wild flowers than they had seen in a century, and some of them from seeds that were that old. I trust the same thing is happening in California over the next few years, and in all the other places where we have interfered with nature. And yet even there we see that nature regenerates itself, sustains itself to the desire of flourishing. Nothing is wasted in nature. And so as we think about living in an abundant universe and really transforming our understanding of abundance, I want us to think about two particular terms. The first one is enough. I can't tell you how many people say, well, good enough just isn't good enough. And yet, isn't that what good enough means? It's good enough. It's enough. And we say, well, I want to have enough and more than enough. And then when we have more than enough, usually if you eat more than enough, you're uncomfortable. Actually, if you eat too much at a turkey dinner, I don't know how many of us have gotten up, groaning. So what do? We eat enough. We eat until we are satisfied. Why? Because we actually know that we're going to eat again. Enough. There is always enough in the universe. There is enough for all the stars to be created. There is enough for life to flourish. There is enough for life to regenerate as long as we don't get in the way. There's enough. The other word I want us to think about is sustainable. Abundance isn't just runaway progress or runaway acquisition, or I need to have all of these things so that I will feel prosperous and I will feel abundant. No, abundance is sustainable. Look at an old growth forest. An old growth forest is sustainable over centuries. Everything in perfect alignment, in the wheel of life and death and rebirth. Everything in alignment. And what happens, what causes it not to be sustainable is the impact primarily that we have on it, which is the same thing that happens in our own abundance and financial lives. When we're not paying attention to our debt, when we think we need more than we actually need, when we look at our paychecks and over and over and over and over again say, well, that's not enough. Well, that's not enough. Well, it's barely enough. And we actually curse the very abundance that we have. These are not sustainable actions. The universe is designed to be sustainable. It is designed for everything to have enough, and that includes us. And so as we are moving in this zoom to prosperity, we want to transform what we're focusing on. That's my superpower, to transform. To transform what we're focusing on. Are we focusing on what's not working, what we don't have, how awful it is, how difficult it is, the economy and this and that? Or are we focusing on what we do have with gratitude, with being willing to have joy in the simple pleasures, seeing the times when we can pay our bills and the things that we do, and the ways that our investments have grown and the way that our business has flourished, or our families have been filled with love? Are we focusing on that? Because one of the deepest understandings that we have is that which we focus on grows. So if we're going to zoom to prosperity, just like we focus on that screen when we're in our Zoom rooms and we focus on it and we stay present with the people that we're in class with or that we're in a meeting with, and we're really seeking to stay focused in our zoom to prosperity, be our superpower, be your superpower, we have to ask ourselves, what are we focusing on? Are we focusing on the abundance of the universe? Are we transforming our viewpoint from worldly wisdom to spiritual truth? Are we transforming our not enoughness to the gratitude for what we have? Are we looking at how Spirit has sustained us, lifted us, loved us through so many ways, so many people and situations and coincidences and serendipities and out angels that have shown up in our lives? We have been sustained by that one infinite source. And there is always enough. And so we celebrate the way that flows beautifully in our understanding of abundance. So we're going to stop for a moment and we're going to listen to this incredible rendition from Brent from the Las Colinas Orchestra. You want to see abundance flowing? Listen to abundance flowing. Enjoy this rendition of Summertime. So, Oscar, do you like my superpower?
Girl, I love it. I'm so jealous of her cape. I want a cape.
Oh, yeah, you got to have a cape if you're going to have a superpower.
The cape. I love it so much. So I'm really excited because we're going to try this. Mm-hmm. We talked about piloting new programs and new ideas and how to reach you in a different way. And so I'm relatively new to Science of Mind, and basically every Sunday my mind gets blown a little bit. So I've always wanted to just sit and just ask questions about that talk. So, girl, we got a lot. We got a lot to cover.
Have a lot of time, so
we got right into it. So, first of all, abundance. I gotta say, it's. You've said this before to me, that the things we talk about, the things that I'm learning, of course, it's spiritual truth. It's the absolute truth, and then real life happens, and suddenly you're like, oh crap. Wait a minute, I have to apply these and not just hear about it and learn about it.
Right.
So in your experience, what has it been going way back when you first learned about this, what was the step? Do you remember that first step you took where you said, wait a minute, this is a condition, it is not the truth? How did that flip happen for you?
Well, so first of all, you've described the step beautifully, right? That is what you have to do, is you have to say, this is not the truth, right? But the first time it happened for me was in the practice of paying attention. Right, I have to pay attention to how I'm responding and looking at things. I have to constantly pay attention to that. And so for me, how it happened is I paid attention like 3 days later. Oh shit, that wasn't good. Oh, I really got caught. Right? So I probably did that for years. I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years, right? And then it was like that night going to bed, I would go, oh, damn, I really got caught in that. And I am not kidding. And that time, because I was trying to pay attention to not getting caught in the condition and to speak spiritual truth, it literally got closer and closer and closer. And I can remember the first time, I don't know, I was in the office with staff people. I was probably, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years into it. And I remember saying something and right after that going, oh, I'm lying through my teeth. I just lied through my teeth. That is not the spiritual truth. And that's not how I want to do this. I literally, as my sentence was finished, I was able to say that. And I was able to then say, but the spiritual truth I know is that we're going to be okay, because I know we live in the abundant universe, right? And so then I started to be able to catch myself in the middle. And of course, the trick is we want to get ahead, right, before it can take us off track where we can be in our spiritual truth. And for me, it was literally, and so the other thing I did is, instead of beating myself up for why did it take me 3 days to realize that I had gotten lost, that I wasn't in a spiritual truth, instead of beating myself up, I would go, oh, look, I'm seeing it. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? And I actually be grateful that I was seeing it, and that allowed it to back up and back up and back up and back up.
And that also applies what you talked about with sustainability, is that I love that. Enough and sustainability. Mm-hmm. I love that it's what you focus on grows.
Yes.
It's funny you said, because I literally had that thought last night. I was like, I was spiraling, and I was like in bed and spiraling. Always happens right before you go to bed. And I remember the thought, what you just said, grateful.
Yes.
Look at all the amazing things I have in my life. Right. Even down to this incredible bed I'm sleeping in.
Yes, exactly.
The air I'm breathing.
Yep. And it can be as not having anything to do with your problem at all. It's just really focusing on some things that are grateful, that are going well. It completely shifts the consciousness, it shifts the energy, it shifts actually everything. Yeah. But you actually did it in that moment, right? In that moment, you went, wait.
Exactly.
Let me just think about a few things I'm grateful for.
Exactly.
Right? And so I think of that, Plato talks about putting the bridle on the horses of our intellect and our emotions.
Oh my God.
He does, right? So we have to bridle our intellect and our emotions, because that's what's driving our carriage. Yeah. Right? That's the impetus, or the horses that are driving our carriage. But who's in charge? Me, the I that I am, right? So you bridled your thoughts and your emotions, and you said, we're going this way. Right. And that's exactly what you did. And that's the trick, if you will. And we have to do it over and over and over again until our horses stop running away with us.
Exactly.
Right. But it takes courage and discipline, and it takes a willingness. I think that a big piece of it is it takes a willingness to shift our focus without blaming ourselves. Right, or without finding fault in whatever the situation is.
I find that's one of the hardest parts, actually, is when you straight up told me, no, there's no shame. Stop shaming yourself and stop being so hard on yourself. You caught it. You caught onto it. Now let's talk about how we make the step forward to something better. Right. But I feel like this also plagues a lot of millennials, is that we are really hard on ourselves. That's what it is we notice we did something bad, and then we just harp on it over and over and over, and we won't let it go. But because I discovered Science of Mind, you taught me to look for patterns and to step out and actually observe.
Right.
And so, I mean, and that goes to sustainability.
Yes.
And enough.
And do we have a pattern of never feeling like we have enough?
Exactly.
Right? So for me, one of the greatest examples of that has always been the idea of energy. You know, and I can remember in the early environmental movement, it was all about we're going to run out of gas, we're going to run out of oil, we're going to run out of oil. And do you remember when it was just not too long ago, it was $4 a gallon? And we were pushing the limit, right? And I can remember people in the Science of Mind saying, if you talk about you're going to run out of gas, you are limiting God. No, that is not true. Oil is a physical representation of energy. All I'm saying is this physical representation of energy, this physical way of getting energy may actually run out or become too expensive. But it doesn't mean that there isn't unlimited energy in the universe. We just have to find other forms to capture it, right? Geothermal, the waves, the wind, the solar, right? So what we do is we say the only way to get energy and the only way to have enough energy is to have oil and gas or coal, right? And that's it. And if we don't have that, we're sunk. That's one way of looking at it. Or, as I said, in spirituality, we can say, well, you're limiting yourself and you're limiting the universe. There's always going to be enough gas. No, that's a form. It's the abundance of the universe. It's the abundance of the energy of the universe and all the different ways that we can engage with that abundance. All the ways that our abundance flows. Some of it's with our paycheck. Some of it's unexpected income. Some of it's our friends taking us out to dinner. Some of it's that we get, gifts or unexpected business ideas and business opportunities. And the next thing you know, we have 3 or 4 business opportunities going. And all of those are forms in which abundance is flowing, but not any one of them is actually abundance.
Wow. Okay, wait a minute. That's a really amazing point.
Right.
Because you just reminded me to take it into the macro. It's not it's not the oil and gas, it's abundance of the universe and not just this one form of it.
This one form of energy,
wow.
Right? And what we do is say, well, if my paycheck isn't enough, then I don't have enough. Right? And we say, only this.
Right, only money, yeah.
Right. And so that's what it means to transform. I always want to do to transform, but I'm not like I'm like a butterfly. I'm not Dracula. So
you're like Zorro.
I know. I don't know. I think I might need another cape. Anyway, I've completely. Okay, so that's that. That's the transformation from the physical, human, worldly wisdom point to the macrocosmic, universal perspective. When we can see that, we've shifted everything.
Right.
That's the point.
Ooh, girl. Okay, you guys, I wish we had more time. That was this is so much fun. Okay.
Thank you.
You want to see us nerd out some more about this, y'all? This is the time. Right here and right now, CSL Dallas, we are here because of you and your financial support. So this is the moment to give to us freely with the knowing of the abundance of the universe is right behind you, has got your back. So not only do you support talks like this and music that you've heard this morning, we also give back to local nonprofits. We also step into the community and actually partner with local nonprofits. So your money is taken care of and we never spend over a dime of what we earn here. You are that important to us. We love you. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. Prosperity. I claim it. Abundance. It is mine. my time. Peace fills my heart. I surrender everything. Health is my birthright. Passion makes me sing. I can have it. I deserve it. I claim it. It is mine. I can have it. I deserve it. I am it. It's my time. Anything I desire, anything that brings me to my highest good. Anything I want, anything I desire, anything that brings me to my highest good. I release, I let go, I accept what is mine. I can have it, what I want, and spirit direct the flow. Life is good, life is fun, life is great, this song is done.
So we're super excited that tomorrow you can sign up to start tomorrow, Prosperity Plus 3 with Reverend Marcia. This is an amazing class. During these 7 weeks of dream building, you will study the art and science of transformation. I'm doing my Dracula thing again. Throughout the course, you will discover techniques to dissolving the blocks that sabotage success, tools to live in harmony with the universal laws that govern success, and how to live a life of financial abundance and experience living full spectrum wealth in every area of your life. You are expected to tithe throughout the course to demonstrate the power of prosperity for yourself. Sign up today, start tomorrow.
Fantastic. I want to talk to you about sensitive. So are you sensitive? Are you a deep thinker with a huge heart who struggle to fit in the workplace or to be understood by your family? This is great because there's nothing wrong with you. I'm actually one of those people. And this movie, Sensitive, The Untold Story, a movie and conversation we're going to host. So you can find out more info on CSLDallas.org. But this movie is incredible. So let me talk about it. First of all, it's done with 3 decades of research by psychologist Elaine Aron, PhD. And it'll be hosted by Bevan Neiman. There's a live Q&A afterwards with him, so you do not want to miss it. All the info is on the website, CSLDallas.org.
So that's this Friday night, but next Sunday, a week from today, you do not want to miss it because we have a special guest speaker that's going to be with us on our live stream Sunday celebration. It's Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis from Seattle, Washington. Kathy Ann and Petra went to school together. They were in the same ministerial class. We both know her. She is like the queen of prosperity in CSL, and we wanted to bring her to you. So that's our Sunday celebration next Sunday. And then Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Central, she is hosting a live online workshop, prosperity workshop unlike any other. It is called Money, Mysticism, and Miracles in the Modern Age. You don't want to miss this. She is going to take us deep, and quite frankly, what if you never had to think about money again? Ever again? Well, Dr. Kathy Ann is setting it up for this workshop so that you don't have to. She is deep. You do not want to miss this. Register today for her workshop online next Sunday.
All right, and the last thing we want to tell you about is Meditation is More Than You Think, Thursday, October 15th, with spiritual coach Carol Merlot. So if you are ready to kickstart your meditation practice, you want to learn more about a meditation practice, you want to find a meditation practice that really works for you, you want to sign up for this. Drop the desire to know how and allow the greater expression of the one to be revealed. Find out more about the process of meditation and the myths and hindrances that have been associated with meditation. So it is about a state of mind, and Carol is an amazing meditator. So sign up for the class so that you can go deeper into meditation.
And we have our practitioners after the Sunday celebration ready for you so you can have one-on-one affirmative prayer, our licensed spiritual coaches. So there's the link for you to click, and they are available right after the Sunday celebration. Get your prayer on right after this.
And now we're going to sing it out and dance it out with Love Be With You.
Love be with you.
All together, hand in hand, sing like we take a stand, and we are changing a whole new life for you and me. Take the past and set it free and share this blessing. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in, to come through you, let you come through you, let joy renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in, truth come through you,